Hey everyone, so it's been a little while actually since I recorded the video you just watched. You can see my hair is a bit longer and it's actually getting to be spring outside. It's been about 3 weeks and I went over the course and like reorganized everything to make sure it's really straightforward and that I'd be really prepared to go through all this. So that's why I look a little different and maybe you'll notice a couple things are different. But anyway, for you, there's no difference. You just watched that last video and now we're into the next one. So we've done a bit with the dev tools. We've looked at HTML a little, we've poked around a bit, we've deleted some stuff here and there. So now we're going to start playing around with actual HTML ourselves. Now we're going to do this inside what we call a sandbox environment. So this is like an environment where you can play around. You don't have to like start setting up all the code editors and how did all the files work and all that sort of stuff. We're going to get to that later. We're going to walk all the way through to there. But just to get started in an easy way, I'm going to get you set up on this site that you're looking at right now, which is called codesandbox.io. So I'm going to sign in, but you can just log in. All the stuff you need will be for free in this. And this is basically a site that lets developers play around with HTML, JavaScript, CSS in a purely browser format. You don't need to download anything. All the different sections will be there, and you can press like render and it'll just kind of do all the stuff for you, and we can start working on things directly in the browser. So let's sign in here. I'm going to sign in, and we'll sign in with my GitHub account, but you can sign in with Google or whatever you're going to do. Okay, and now that we're here, we're going to get started. So we're going to make our first little HTML document. All right. What we're going to do is we're going to go to where we have new sandbox, and we're going to create the static sandbox. It might be one of the ones that's a little further down. There's all these different types and stuff, but the static is the most straightforward for where we should get started. Now this will create a little draft for you. It'll be now saved, and this will be here if you delete, leave this and come back. And you can see here, it just set up an HTML document. It's got some files on the left-hand side, kind of mimicking a file system. Then it's got the HTML document here with some line numbers. Then HTML, which we've seen a little bit of before, just bouncing around, not these specific tags or whatever, but we're going to look at that in more detail. There's a little bit of text here. And over here, we have the example of what it actually looks like and a little URL. We can also push this out so that we actually can see this in a new window if we want to see it all on its own. So that's pretty handy, but this is kind of cool. And we can kind of change stuff. We can put a bunch of commas, and then we go, okay, what's happening? And now you can see this little dot appeared here, which means that we should save. So if I press now Control S and save, it changes the render on the right-hand side. Okay, so great. So that's what we're going to be working in. So before we start learning about HTML, let's try just playing a little with this. So let's again go to Google, and we're just going to do our inspecting thing. We're going to inspect here. There's a bunch of stuff here with Google, text areas and a bunch of things called divs and stuff. Let's just copy this. We can just go copy outer HTML, and it will have copied it. And we're just going to come back to here, and we're just going to paste this in. Okay, pasted it in. We're going to save it. And oh, a thing appeared. It's a text area. It's got all this junk in it that we're not going to really have to know all about, so whatever, but we can see here it's done something. So this is kind of a key to how it is to learn when it comes to learning HTML, learning how to make websites. There's going to be a lot of just pasting stuff, checking it in, what works, what happens, how can we change it. A lot is learned by practical use. Sitting there and trying to learn all the theory or all the stuff beforehand is really hard. So the way we're going to approach this is really from a practical angle. We're going to create like a project, and we're going to go through all the stuff you need to do to make that project. And kind of by going through all that, you're going to get a lot more concepts. Some people choose to teach web development by starting with theory. What is HTML? What is CSS? What's JavaScript? What's a variable? What's an object? What are all these things? And we're going to do that to some degree, but I really want to couch it inside of a project where we're throwing stuff in and seeing how it actually works on a practical level. So feel free to play around a little bit with this on your own if you want, but hop into the next lesson once you've pasted around a couple things here and there from different websites you were looking at, seeing what broke, seeing what didn't work, seeing what worked. And then in the next one, we'll start getting into actually what is HTML and getting started on our sample project. I'll see you in the next one.